Welcome class 6. Today we are going to have another science class, and today is the branch of science that we are going to start today is the physics. We have already done classes in chemistry, we have done classes in bio, and today we are going to start the physics class. Now in physics class, the first chapter of your book is matter, and the same topic you have already done in chemistry. So if you revise the chapter in chemistry that you have already got the video, is the same thing that's given in physics also. So we start with the second chapter today. Now, this is science. And why do we study science? When we study the science, actually it makes us more aware of what is happening around us, what is happening in the world. So science gives us more awareness and more creativity, right? And to help that, what do we have? We have got 5 senses. How do we learn about the different things? We use our 5 senses. You know the 5 senses we have. We have got the sight, we have got the smell, we have got the taste, we have got the hearing, and we have got the touch. So with the help of these 5 sentences, we are learning everything. But if you think about it, is it enough? Are they enough for us to learn, or we need little help from other things also? So let's see. I'll give you one diagram here. Observe this diagram carefully. Two lines are drawn, A and B. Now, just by looking at it, can you tell me which one is little bigger than the other one? Can you do that? Without doing anything, only taking the help of your senses, can you say whether line A is bigger or line B is bigger? It's pretty difficult, isn't it? So I've got few questions for you to follow the same thing. Suppose you are going to school. When you are going to school, how would you know what is the distance between the house and the school? When you are traveling, you have to find out the train timing. Can you do that with your senses? No. You have fever. How do you know you have fever? You want to buy fruits, you want to buy material for your dress. Now these are all the things that we need every day. We are using them every day. These are very necessary for our everyday life. But these 5 senses are not enough. So if you try to find out the answer for these, what is it we have to learn to know about the answer of these things? That will lead us to today's topic, that is measurement. Measurement. So today's physics topic is measurement. Now you have heard the word measurement in so many ways, in so many different things. Now, you want to measure the distance between house and the school. So what will you measure? You will measure the distance. You want to find out that train timing. So you need to find out a way to measure the timing. You have fever. You want to know how hot your body is or how much fever you have got. You want to buy fruits. You want to buy materials. So for that, these also you need to measure. So today we are going to learn about the different types of the measures that we use in our daily life. The topic is measurement, right? Now, suppose you want to buy fruits. Will you go and tell the shopkeeper, give me 2 apples? Or will you go and ask for the material that give me 2 material or give me 3 material? No. How do we express our questions that way? Whatever we want, how do we say it? We say along with certain definite measures, and those measures are called the units. What do you mean by the units? Units are you can say definite measures. Units are definite measures. Each one measuring, we need them. Right? So we will see why we need the definite measures. Suppose I ask you to measure this blackboard. I say, find out the length of the blackboard. You can do it. You can measure with your hand. You can write from one corner till the other corner. You can this way. You can go and measure it. Fine. Will all of you will have the same measurement? No. Why? Because the size is not same. Some will have a shorter span, some will have the bigger span. So to have one universal answer, to have the same answer for everyone, for the same measurement, we use the units. And so why do we need the units? So that we need units for measurement, so that everyone, all measures of any one measurement will be same. This is very, very important standard unit. We call it as the standard unit of measurement. That means anywhere, anyone coming and measuring the board, if we have a definite measure, definite tool for measuring, naturally we will have the same answer. It's all worldwide, it's accepted. All the units are accepted worldwide. So today's topic that we are discussing is the measurement, that is measuring the different things to find out. It can be anything. It can be length, breadth, height, it can be your temperature, it can be your time, it can be your volume, anything. So we'll take each topic at a time and we will do that. So we'll take this chapter into different units and we'll take it unit wise. Now first let's take the length, the easiest one. First one. Can you define length? It's very easy. We say length. We are always using length, breadth, height, measuring. But how do you define it? Length is distance between 2 points in space. If I give you only 1 point and say find out the length, can you do it? No. So we need 2 points and the distance between the 2 points, this will give you the length. Same way you take the 2 points like this can give you the height. So length means the distance between 2 points in space, that is called the length. Okay? So length, when you measure the length, there is also one important thing you have to very carefully observe. What are the tool we use for length? The tool we use for length is, you have seen, all of you all are students. You all are students. All of you have got this ruler. Right, everyone has got the ruler. Have you seen the markings are there on this ruler? What are they? They are the definite guideline for the measurement. The length is measured with the ruler. You can measure it, the smaller one with ruler. When you go to the tailor, how does he take the measurement of your dress? He uses the measuring tape. He uses measuring tape. This is commonly we use measuring even in the buildings. You have seen the people, the masons, when they come and do the work, do the building, they have got those steel one folded and rolled out, that measuring tape also. For even the carpenter, you want to make one your study table, carpenter will have to come and measure. Only then he can make the furniture. So for every purpose the measurement is needed and we use either ruler or measuring tape. Now this is okay, fine, but what is the unit? I can't say give me 2. I can't say the length is 2. I can't say that. I need a definite unit to express my answer. So what is the unit? You have done in maths, the metric system. So what is the unit of length? For the smaller one, we say meter, and for bigger one, we say kilometer. The common unit we use. So now if I tell you to measure the board with this ruler, you can measure it, and you can see it has got one side, it has got the meter scale here given, and one side it has given the inches. Normally nowadays we use the meter and kilometer unit. So what is length? Length is, you know, the distance between the 2 points. It has to be complete with 2 points at the 2 ends, and the unit used will be either meter or kilometer, and we use normally that ruler or the measuring tape. Same thing will go for your the breadth also. Same way, breadth is also in meter or kilometer, height is also in meter or kilometer. Now here we have another measurement in the same unit we have, which is area. What is area? Area is the flat covered surface of any object. Flat covered surface. This word is very important. Covered and surface. What do you mean by that? Suppose you want to find out the area of your football ground, right? This is your football ground. If I draw it like this and I draw it like this, can you find out the area of this one? No, because you don't know how much it will be extending. But when it is completely covered from all sides, flat covered surface, that is the area. You cannot find out the area of this structure. Why? Because it's never ending. You don't know how long it will go, what will be the length of this field. So this is very important. The flat covered surface of any object, that is called the area. And how do we find out the area? For area, we use the formula that is called length into breadth. For example, you have this. Suppose we have got this box. Okay? What will be the area of this? I'll measure this side and I'll measure this side. This is completely closed, all 4 sides, all 4 points are there. So we can find out the area of this by measuring the length and the breadth, and you can take out the area. Now unit of area. Now this will be, suppose it is 3 centimeter, let's say 3 centimeter length and 2 centimeter the width or the breadth. Because we are measuring 2 numbers, 2 numerals are multiplied, so its unit is also going to be centimeter square. You can write it this way, square, or you can also write square centimeter. Centimeter in short you write. You have done it in maths. Now why square? Square stands out for what? For 2 measurements. Right? So what is area? It is a flat covered surface of any object, and we find out the area by multiplying length and breadth, and the unit used for area is meter square, kilometer square or centimeter square. Either you write it this way or you write it this way. Okay? Now, this third one, now that's the volume. These are all under this measurement. First one, length, area, because all are related. Volume. You have already done volume in your chemistry class also. So what is volume? The space occupied by any object. Right. The space occupied by any object is called volume. Remember we did in the chemistry class, solids have definite volume, liquids have volume, but gases do not have the volume. So we get to that thing, word volume, that is the space occupied by any object. Now how do we measure the volume? For volume what do we need? We need the length, we need the breadth, and we need the height. 3 measures are needed. Like it's the same thing, same box. For area, what did we do? We measured the length and the breadth. Okay? Now for volume, what do we need? We need the length, we need the breadth, and also we need height. For this is height also, because it's taking some space in the air also. So length, then the breadth and the height. So volume means the total space, not only the flat. Area we said only flat, so it was length and breadth. But volume is the total space even in the air, so it is length, breadth and height. So 3 measurements. So I think you have guessed what will be its unit. Suppose 2 into 3 into 2 again. 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter, 2 centimeter. Okay, length is 2 centimeter, breadth is 3 centimeter, height is 2 centimeter. So what will be the volume? 12. 2 3s are 6, 6 2s are 12. Shall I leave it like this, only 12? No. Yes, we need the unit for that. Now here in area you saw 2 measures. Here how many measures are there? Length, breadth and height. So you have guessed it right. This will be centimeter cube. 3 is for 3 measures, length, breadth and height. Either you write it this way or we write in short, cubic centimeter. It's very easy to remember. Length is 1 measure, distance, so meter or centimeter or kilometer. Area, 2 measures, so square centimeter or square meter, and volume 3 measures are needed, so it will be centimeter cube or cubic centimeter or meter. Longer the distance, longer the measure, it will be in kilometer. Right, so this is in the first one, all 3 are related. Length, for area you need length and breadth, for volume you need length, breadth and height. Now there is a problem here. Volume. Now for this, no problem. It's a regular surface. I've got 2 things for you. These 2. You can see this. The shape is regular, length equal, the breadth also equal, and height is also same everywhere. So we call it as a regular surface. What about this? Is it a regular? Do you have the length and breadth and height same on all the sides? No. So we call it as the irregular. So now, how do we do this? We cannot measure the length, breadth and height this, and we cannot use the same formula for volume. So what do? We will do a simple experiment for that, and that's how you will find out the volume of the irregular. This is for regular, no problem. For irregular, you can do this. After you see the video, you take your a glass from your kitchen and do this experiment. You will see it very clearly. Now volume of irregular surface. Irregular objects. What do? You remember in the chemistry lab apparatus we did one measuring cylinder. If you remember, you should remember, not if you remember, because you have done it. There was one measuring cylinder, we did it with all the scales marked on this. Right. Now, you don't have this at home, so you can take one glass. Take a glass, do this experiment. And fill it with water. Take one rubber band and do the marking, or you can take a chalk and mark it here, so that you know how much water you have taken. Now take this stone and very carefully you put it into the glass containing water. Now see this one, this is a stone piece. You cannot measure the length, breadth and height because it's not regular. Breadth is not same. You can see here smaller, here bigger. So what do? This experiment we were just discussing, that this is a glass. Now take the same stone, put it into the same glass where you have already marked the water level. And this is your water level, original one. Now you have put the stone here. What will you observe? The water level rises up. Now this level of the water that has risen, what is the reason for this? Why the water level has risen from here to here? Obviously, because you have put the stone here. That means if you find out the volume of this water, how much water has been displaced by the stone, that will be the volume of the stone, right? Understood? Now because you put the stone here, stone needs some space. So it is displacing the water, it is removing the water and taking the place of that water. So now what has happened? The amount of water that has been displaced by the stone, that is the level of the water shown here in this diagram. Clear? So this is how we do, or you take the measuring cylinder, easier, much more easier, automatically. Here you will know the original marking and you know the final marking. So you can measure from here. You have to take out the water and measure, and here you are directly getting the measurement. So this is how you do the measuring the volume of irregular. So what we have done today, we have done the measurement of length with the unit, area with unit, volume of regular surface with unit, and volume of irregular surface with unit. Clear? So next in the next class.